There have been many conversations in regards to my life story. What's the plan? What's the intention? Here it is. I've been in talk with different individuals about bringing my life story to the big screen, whether as a movie, TV series, on Netflix, Showtime, I don't know. But anyway, I'm just playing around with this at this present time. Like that, when this do happen, this is a key individual I should play the major parts. Like for example, this individual right here, Daniel K. I think Daniel K, he played in Get Out. And I done had people came up to me and start talking about, oh man, you look like this guy from Get Out. But when I saw him acting in Widow, that right there, and for me watching step by step, his behavior, his attitude, his demeanor, I said, you know what? This guy can and will do a great job in playing me, Brian Glaze Gibbs. Why? Because of his skills, his action, and his behavior. He had everything what it takes. Even with his eyes, like, you look at the eyes, when they get big, when he get excited, when he get upset. So, and plus, hell of an actor. And I feel when the time comes, this man right there would be the perfect person to play me, Brian Glaze Gibbs. When you look at it, if you look up on the board, you'll see Ice Cube, and you'll see the notorious Lorenzo Fat Cat Nichols, one of the biggest player on the East Coast border. Cat downfall was the parole officer Brian Rooney murder. And when you sit back and you think about it, at one point in time, he was as large and as big as you got, and been in jail since 1985. So sit back and think about it. This man been in jail since 1985. It is now 2020 and he's still incarcerated. But you look at it and you hear the story, you hear rappers like, 50 Cent, Jay-Z, Nas, you hear like Fat Joe, everybody talking about Lorenzo Fat Cat Nichols and who he was and what he once represented. But then again, if you look at it, Ice Cube, to me, putting a little more weight will blow that part out the window. He can make sure that happen. I think he can bring, with his swag and his hip hop style, I think he can rock playing Lorenzo Fat Cat Nichols, and it probably will win him Academy Award. Howard Pappy Mason. I remember the very first time I met Pappy. Pappy have a heart as pure as gold. Good guy. If he love you, he love you. If he hates you and he was your enemy, be on the lookout, because Pappy was coming for you. So when you sit back and you think about Pappy been in and out of his jail since he was a kid, since he was like, a juvenile. But once again, that's when he met, Lorenzo Fat Cat Nichols, and he formed a bond. When Cat and Pap went away, Pap had a sentence of 0 to 7. Cat had a sentence of 0 to 18. Fat Cat was paroled in 3 years. Pappy did the whole 7 years. And by the time Pappy came home, Cat was already established as one of the biggest drug dealers on the East Coast border. And when Pappy went and met up with Cat for the very first time, Cat just gave him a pocket full of money. Hey, look here, this is for you on the strength. Pappy came back the very next day and told Cat, I want a job. I want to get down with your organization. You know what? Here it is. What Cat did, Cat gave Pappy the opportunity. And what he did was he gave Pappy $1,000 a week for security. So Cat was amazed. Why he was amazed about Pappy? Because once again, Pappy was at work each and every day like it's a legit job on time. So that impressed Cat because he didn't expect that. So to me, when I look at it and I think about who could play Pappy Mason, and I thought about it, I was kind of having my little feelings about who's who and what's what. And then Jamie Foxx, I'm talking to my man Luke, Jamie Foxx name came up. And basically right now, as you look at it and you see, Jamie is a hell of an actor. And to me, I think right now is he can play Pappy to a T. Because when you think of Pap and you look at Jamie's always clean cut, Pappy got dreads. Pappy got dread down to, his ass. So when you sit back and you look at it, only thing Jamie Foxx need to do, find the right wig, put it on, and guess what? He can nail that sucker. he can play that part to the T. These gentlemen that's on the board now was part of the original members of the Busy Mob. You know, when you sit back when Cat first got started, you had this guy right here, Joseph Roger, aka Bobo. He'd been around Cat forever. So then you had Jughead. Jughead, Cat, and Pappy all met in Juvenile doing time. Jughead was a big member of the organization. Then you have Luke Stevens. Luke Stevens also was one of the original members of the Lorenzo Fat Cat Nichols crew. So to me, as you sit back and going back to Bobo, one a longtime member, if you look at it, you got Ice Cube Jr., you know, O'Shea Jackson Jr. will do a great job to me as playing Bobo. Look at the resemblance, look at the eyes, look at the smirk they got. And like I said, I done seen this kid in action. Oh man, hell of a job, hell of an actor. And then you go over here, you know what I'm saying, to Jughead. Jughead and Cat basically was like brothers, man. You know, they kind of like had that same build. And I knew Jughead. I met Jughead probably back in '82. We was in Coxsackie together. And even when I got out, and right now I was taking to Queens, and I met up with Jug just before the parole officer Brian Rooney murder. He wanted to give me work then, but the type of work that he wanted to give me at that present time, I wasn't ready for. So you look at this guy right here. The actor name is Luke James. Luke James is currently playing in the Chi right now. And I think right now with a little more weight, he can ace it playing Jughead. Then at the bottom, Luke Stevens. Luke Stevens, and then you got right here, you got this guy, Mac Wild. Mac Wild's been playing around for a while. You saw him on The Wire. You saw him on what, Beverly Hills, what, 90120, whatever it is. But I think Mac Wild would ace it being, you know what I'm saying, Luke Stevens. But if you look at all these guys, they've been around. They was part of the Busy Mob team. And the question that, you know, right now, not trying to throw shades, but all these guys been around before me. So why none of them, you know what I'm saying, earn a roundtable ring? That's for a later date and a later topic. Why did I, Brian Glaze Gibbs, came after these guys, and right now is I earned a roundtable ring? If you look on the board now, what you have is some of the key members. There's only a few of them that I have picture up at this present time. And these were some key members of my crew, Eminem, Money and Murder. As you sit back and think about it, this is my man, GT, Guy. You know, so when you look at Guy and you look at it, who Guy was with me, you know, like on several occasions, whereas like, you know, but for the most part, when he used to be with me and we used to go to do certain things, I was able to squash the beef without no blood being shed. But when you look at Guy, you look at him and I'm thinking about him, great guy, he was dangerous, he was not to be messed with, and right now is little short dude. Then you got my man, Killer Dude, Sty, Juno Wilson. Juno Wilson, love him like a brother, man. And I remember when I got acquitted for the murder in 1987, I came home. And Juno, just before I came home, he caught a murder in the Cypress Hill projects. These guys tried to rob him. So they surrounded him, pull out guns, and Juno cut loose. And these guys start running, and he chased the guy down. And he killed the kid that tried to rob him, because it was a team of them. And it was broad daylight, summertime. So to me, when I came home and I finally met up with him before I sent him away, you know what? I said, man, do you regret what you did? And he looked at me, and he had to be like 16 at the time. And he said what he regret is killing the guy in front of all those people, man. Hey, Juno died like, you know, back in 1994. I dedicated my book, you know what I'm saying, to him and my mother, because he was like a little brother. Rest in peace. Down at the bottom, you got my man Hit. Hit, like I said right now, man, we've been around forever. Like I said right now, is good guy. And right now, I always taught, if you don't got nothing, you know, nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So I'm gonna say Hit was a good guy. I gave him the name Hit because of everybody think like I gave him the name Hit, and they heard that name, they thought, oh shit, he was the Hitman. No, I gave him that name Hit because we remind me of the boxer Tommy Hitman Hearns, and they was right the same height, had the same haircut, and like that same dark complexion. So these are the gentlemen right here who I think can play GT. So who I think can play GT is this guy right here, Trey Shanny from The Wire. I think he'll do a great job playing Guy, you know. Then you had this other guy right here from The Empire. His name is Brashear Gray. I think he'll do a hell of a job playing the late Junior Wilson. I think he got that energy, got that hip hop vibe, and I think he'll do a great job. And this guy right here, Ethan Hersey, you saw him on If You Can See Me Now. I think he'll do a great job playing Hit. So this is the Eminem crew. That was my crew, the Money and Murder. Like I say right now, is our job was to make money, and if anybody got in our way, we eliminate them, we murder them. If you sit back and you watch and look at everything that I just put up, went over, as far as like, you know, the movie, the series, whatever they decide to do, look at all these individuals up here, and like, you know, damn, how many lives was lost to the penitentiary, to the graveyard. Like, you look at it, each and every one of us had a hell of a story. You know, I'm talking about from Bobo, Fat Cat, Luke, Jughead, Pappy, you know, me, Brian Glaze Gibbs, my guy, Juna. Juna's dead, man. Juna lost his life back in 1994. You know, my man, Guy, great guy, still alive. My man Hit, did it big, came home, you know, doing good now. But when you look at all this stuff, man, like, come on, man. This was the 80s. This is like what people still talk about right now. Was it worth it, man? I'm saying, out of all the stuff that we did in our life, pick up the brick, threw it at the prison wall, for what? Fat Cat still in jail. Chances are, hopefully he get out, but chances are he might die in jail. Pappy, you know what? Been going through hell. I'm saying right now, Pappy got life. Pappy gonna die in jail. So you look at it, was it worth it? It wasn't worth it, people. When you look at it, you think about the greatest, one of the greatest story that came out of Brooklyn, South Jamaica, Queens. You know what? Was it all worth it? Was it worth it? To me, it wasn't. My name is Brian Glaze Gibbs. This is my ministry. Hey, if you want the full story until the actual series or the movie come out, check out this book right here. You can get yourself a signed copy of the Brian Glaze Gibbs story by emailing me at Brian, B-R-I-A-N, Gibbs, G-I-B-B-S, 1201 at yahoo.com. My last bit, doing federal time. I had a lot of time on my hand. I spent a lot of time in the box doing whole time when you lock down 23 to 24 hours a day. During that period of time, what I did was I reflected back upon my life, and I just started writing my life down on pen with a paper, and just start putting everything that I remember on pen and paper. And what I did was, like, I put it there for a reason. I've been to hell and back, and the real reason for me to write this book and put it out there is I used to be part of the problem. Now I'm seeking to be part of the solution. How do I get these kids, the younger generation, to read this book and get them to understand that crime doesn't pay? I took shortcut. I did a lot of foul things. I destroyed a lot of lives. Things that I did, I wasn't brought up that way. I wasn't raised that way. I was raised in the church. I was baptized. But yet and still, I became that lost sheep and went astray. So to me, how did I went wrong? Why did I jump up the porch into a bunch of trouble? Because I want to be down. I want to be cool. So the reason, my goal is to tell the truth. Get people to understand the good, the bad, and the ugly part of my life. To get them to understand, learn from my mistake. Don't be like Brian Glaze Gibbs. Don't be like Pappy Mason. You know what I'm saying? Lorenzo Fat Cat Nichols. Don't be like these guys up on this board. Crime doesn't pay. Stop picking up the brick, throwing at that prison wall, losing your life. You know what? For nothing. For absolutely nothing. It's not worth it. The street life is for suckers. The street life is for loser. Later for the hustle. Get you a legit hustle by working a 9 to 5 and retire at a decent age that you can enjoy life. Brian Gibbs, signing off. One love. Also, follow me. Check out my YouTube channel, Brian Glaze Gibbs. Follow me on IG, My story is my ministry, and this is the life and time of the one they call Brian Glaze Gibbs.